What's up, YouTube? On this Ford Explorer, I'm going to be changing the brakes, and I'm also going to be changing the rotor. And just a quick tip on an easy way to do it. As you can see, I have the wheel, it's not straight. I have it facing out, and by turning the steering wheel to face the wheel outwards, I have all this room to get my tool back here, and I could see all the bolts that I need to remove. Now I'm going to start with removing the caliper bolts, and it's one here and there's another one up top. But before I do that, I'm gonna compress the piston at least a little bit, so I get me a flat screwdriver. I'm gonna wedge it between this opening here and the middle of the rotor where the vanes are, and I'm just gonna pry towards me. And all that's gonna do is just push the piston back a little bit. Once that's done, I have some room. These bolts are 17 mil. Once they're out, just go ahead, remove the bracket. Just gonna sit that on top for now. The brakes still got a lot of life left, but this truck is giving a heavy vibration on hard braking, so I know the rotors are warped. After that's removed, I go ahead, get these two bolts out. That's the bolts for the caliper bracket. And simple hand tools could do this job. Get that bracket off. I'm just gonna get a hook so I could hang the caliper. I hung it on the spring. Now I go ahead and get the rotor off. So on these, they use either a Phillips head or a Torx to hold the rotor on. If you can't get it off, you could actually just bang the rotor from the inside and break it off, or drill it. If it breaks inside, it's no big deal. When you put your wheel back on, it's gonna hold everything in place. A lot of cars don't have this, but I tried to take it off so I could put it back on. And this is a number 40. So if you could see right here, number 40. Now another trick that I use to get these off, put my tool on. Once I get the right size, it doesn't matter if it's if they use a Phillips head or not, you get the right tool for it. Put your hammer, sit it like so, and just tap it a few times. Usually once I do that, I could go ahead, place my tool back on it, and I'm just using a 1/4 inch drive. Off, put some pressure on it, and slowly turn. And just like that. You could use a light duty impact, put it on the 1/4 inch. You could tap it a few times and use the impact to take it off. Before I put it back on, I usually clean it up, and I put some anti-seize. Right where you see this rust, that's where most bolts usually seize up. So when the bolt is hard to take out, it's not the entire length of the threads, it's usually the top part where it mates on the surface. Have that. Ready to take this off. And like that, the rotor is off. You can see a lot of rust, so I'll clean the surface up. I put some anti-seize on it, especially around here, and it's just to put the new one on, put the bracket back on, replace the brakes, and put your caliper back on. And always wear safety goggles when you're using anything like this. And if you don't have a tool to use, you could actually just use just a regular wire brush. And it's a lot of winter months here, so I need to put stuff like this, otherwise it'll just rust, and upon changing the brakes in the future or the rotor, it's gonna give a hard time taking it off. You just want to cover all the rust or all the mating area. You want to cover. Light coating, doesn't have to be thick and heavy, just a nice light coating, just like that. The screw I took out was right here, so I just want to line up the hole here to the hole on the spindle. And I just took the wire brush, just clean this up. I don't necessarily have to put it on the threads, so I put it right up in the top. Just put a little bit right here. You want to make sure it's going in straight. And not super tight, just enough to hold it. That's it. One hand, and that's it. You just want to make sure it holds the rotor, and that's about all it does. The bracket is on. I also have put some anti-seize on the bolt for the bracket. And double check the torque specs for the caliper bracket bolts. These for this particular vehicle, it's indicating 80 foot-pounds, so I'm gonna torque these to 80. And for the caliper bolts, between like 25 and 30, so I'll probably put it around 25. These ones are never a lot of torque, but these usually I've seen like maybe 45 and up, so 80 seems decent for a pretty medium-sized duty truck. Now I got the two new pads, and when you purchase these brakes, you're gonna realize one side looks like this, and like this little cutout right here. The other side have the same cutout, but it has two you could see like two little bumps right here. This side goes on the outside because on the caliper it has the slots for it to sit in. So the smooth side goes on the inside, and if you look, you could see I put some brake grease on it, and I just put it on the areas where it touches the hardware. So where it slides in, that's where I put the grease. Slide that in. This side, like I said, it has the two bumps right here. Put that in. Slide that in. And right here on the caliper, you can see the two grooves where it slides in. So it slides right in here. Now the two slide pins, I just put a little anti-seize on the threads, and you're gonna see one have a rubber on the end of it, the other one doesn't. It still has grease on it, but I put just a little bit extra. You don't want to put a lot. It just needs to have a light coating. So I just put a little bit on, and just remember how you took it off. Remember which one goes on top, which goes at the bottom. Sometimes they don't have a rubber on them, but in case yours do, just remember which one goes on top, which one goes at the bottom. In this case, the way I have it, that's how it goes. The one with the rubber goes on top, and the one without goes at the bottom. And that's it for replacing the front brakes and rotors on a Ford Explorer. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.